The first urban cities, the invention of mathematics, the first codes of law. The civilization built across Sumer, Akkad, and Babylon established our modern human baseline. Over 500,000 cuneiform tablets survive today, recording everything from royal decrees and astronomical observations to merchant receipts. But the vast majority of these tablets remain untranslated. They are scattered across foreign museum collections, and their knowledge is strictly controlled by a small concentration of researchers at a handful of Western universities. Because of this geographic and linguistic divide, the intellectual control over Mesopotamian history resides almost entirely outside the borders of modern Iraq. The Mesopotamian Global Digital Library, or MGDL, is a national initiative designed to correct that asymmetry. The primary target is massive in scale, systematically digitizing 500,000 cuneiform tablets by the year 2035. Preservation of these tablets is only the first step. The ultimate objective is to physically and digitally move the center of gravity for ancient studies back to Baghdad. This is a deliberate blueprint to engineer the technological and economic infrastructure required for Iraq to reclaim its own cultural narrative. The technological core of the platform is Nabu AI. Think of it as a tireless, modern equivalent to the ancient Scribal Academy, built specifically to process Mesopotamian text at a massive scale. First, the system relies on machine learning models to perform optical character recognition. It scans the surface of the tablet, mathematically isolates the wedges, and successfully reads both administrative records and complex literary texts. Since physical tablets are frequently broken, the AI uses 3D geometric similarity hashing. It maps the jagged edges of disconnected fragments and automatically snaps them together, even if those pieces are stored in different collections thousands of miles apart. For texts that are heavily damaged, a transformer model logically predicts the missing cuneiform signs, slots them into the gaps, and then runs the complete restored text through a neural machine translation into both English and Arabic. This three-step pipeline takes what would normally be centuries of agonizing manual translation by scattered academics and collapses it into a highly scalable 10-year computational process. Translating the tablets is just the baseline. The platform's most intellectually ambitious tool is the historical knowledge graph, which synthesizes all that raw text into structure. This network graph visualizes exactly how millions of individual entities interact. It pulls data directly from the translated texts to map the definitive relationships between kings, trade commodities, and astronomical events across thousands of years. This creates an interactive spatial and temporal map of history. Researchers can now execute massive global queries, tracing supply chains or political alliances that were simply computationally impossible before. Consolidating a nation's entire digital heritage creates a high-value target for nation-state hackers, ransomware operators, and ideological threats. To protect the archive, the primary data center in Baghdad is engineered entirely around strict zero-trust network protocols, meaning every single access request is verified, regardless of where it originates. The ultimate failsafe is an air-gapped offline disaster recovery system. It relies on an immutable backup chain, data that can be written once but never altered or encrypted by outside actors. That secure data is then shared with global institutions like the Oriental Institute and the British Museum, ensuring that all AI translations undergo rigorous, peer-reviewed scholarly validation. By pairing military-grade cybersecurity with international academic validation, the MGDL establishes itself as the undisputed, trusted vault of Mesopotamian history. The immediate impact of this platform will be felt domestically, modernizing Iraq's own educational infrastructure. The Virtual Iraq Museum brings immersive 3D models of artifacts directly into classrooms, where students examine their heritage in high-resolution detail. At the university level, the initiative introduces new professional certificates and targeted curricula to train hundreds of Iraqi specialists in computational linguistics and digital Assyriology. The platform's true legacy is human capital. It generates a continuous, self-replenishing pipeline of Iraqi digital experts and native historians. A $130 million infrastructure project requires financial endurance. The MGDL transitions from initial government and international grant funding directly into a self-sufficient economic model. This chart illustrates the financial transition. Post-launch, the platform generates primary revenue through tiered subscriptions, offering global universities access to advanced AI tools and massive corpus downloads. That core income is supplemented by licensing the digital assets for global heritage tourism and securing custom AI analysis contracts for active archaeological excavations. This diversified economic engine guarantees that the MGDL operates as a permanent sovereign national asset, entirely free from the shifting priorities of political cycles. By 2035, the MGDL will house 500,000 fully digitized and translated tablets, openly accessible directly from the Baghdad data center. When that milestone is reached, the geopolitical reality of historical scholarship changes. The global center of gravity for ancient studies will successfully shift back to its point of origin. Centralizing and deciphering 500,000 ancient texts restores Iraq's intellectual ownership over the world's oldest recorded civilization.